coarse medical braces rub against denim with every single step. Over months, that constant friction shreds the fabric. Prescription ointments soak into collars and cuffs, leaving permanent stains. For years, many veterans have quietly replaced these ruined wardrobes out of their own pockets. They accept the recurring expense, often unaware that the physical damage to their clothing is legally recognized as a compensable consequence of their military injuries. The Department of Veterans Affairs maintains a specific financial benefit to address this exact issue. The VA clothing allowance is an annual reimbursement designed to cover the cost of replacing garments destroyed by prescribed medical treatments. Yet, a substantial portion of this allocated funding remains untouched. Millions of dollars in rightful compensation are left on the table every single year. Advocates like the Veterans Coalition Foundation point to a persistent gap in awareness and a multi-step application process as the primary reasons for this shortfall. They work to unify service organizations to help veterans navigate the specific requirements needed to secure these funds. The clothing allowance is an earned support system designed specifically to offset the long-term impact of service. Utilizing this benefit ensures that the financial weight of these injuries is carried by the system rather than the veteran. To claim this benefit, the process begins with a strict medical baseline. The veteran must have a documented service-connected condition. Service connection is a specific legal classification. It means the VA formally acknowledges that a current injury or illness is directly linked to the veteran's time in the military. This wireframe highlights joints where rigid orthopedic devices create intense friction against clothing. Hard plastic knee braces, back braces, and prosthetics are common qualifying devices. Operating a wheelchair also causes distinct, unavoidable wear patterns on the hips and lower back. A third qualifying category, often overlooked by veterans, involves prescription skin medications. The chemical composition of certain prescribed creams permanently degrades woven fabrics. Once these compounds absorb, fibers break down or stain beyond repair. Veterans need to establish a paper trail for these items early in the year. Speaking with a primary care provider or the VA prosthetics department ensures the device or medication is officially prescribed and documented in their medical file. Successful claims require a direct legal link between the specific fabric-destroying item and the documented military service injury. Once the medical documentation is in place, the claim is filed using VA Form 10-8678. A major hurdle occurs right here. The most frequent reason the VA denies these claims is that the applicant fails to provide clear, specific evidence detailing exactly how the device or medication damages their clothing. Timing is also critical. To receive a payout for the current year, the complete application must be submitted to the local VA prosthetics facility by August 1st. For veterans with complex medical profiles, the VA policy includes a multiple allowance rule that can increase the total benefit. Looking at this logic tree, we see how the multiplier works. A rigid knee brace creates one pathway for payment. A prescribed skin medication for a separate condition opens a parallel pathway, resulting in a second distinct payment. However, simple errors will halt either pathway. Submitting an incomplete form or listing a device that isn't explicitly tied to a service-connected rating triggers an automatic denial. Successfully mapping out this documentation and avoiding basic form errors allows a veteran to secure their financial compensation before the deadline. The financial impact of navigating this process accurately is growing. This bar chart highlights the clear upward adjustment for the 2026 payout level, representing an increase in the base allowance amount for the year. Once the August 1st deadline passes, approved claims move to the disbursement phase, with funds typically issued to veterans during the fall months. Recent policy updates from Washington have also addressed the long-standing requirement for repetitive paperwork for chronic injuries. Under the new auto-renewal rule, veterans with permanent, unchanging medical conditions and device needs no longer have to submit Form 10-8678 every single year. Once approved, the payment simply recurs. The clothing allowance reimburses a tangible cost of living with service-connected injuries. It is legally earned compensation directly tied to military sacrifice. Veterans can seek assistance from veteran service organizations and community advocates to help gather the necessary medical evidence and complete the application forms accurately. Review your active medical devices, document the damage to your clothing, connect with an advocate, and submit your application before August 1st to secure your 2026 benefit.